What is up, everyone? What up? What up? It is me, your boy Nerdtaku. And I also have my little co host here, who is lounging back with a pacifier. She, she's kind of chilling. We'll see. We'll see if she enjoys me reading a story to her, being this latest chapter. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's you. That's you right there. All right. Yo, what is going on? Um, so I have been a little bit preoccupied, obviously, child. Um, but I'm super excited to get to this chapter. I don't often get to read the chapter like as soon as they come out. I just so happen to be off to take care of my daughter. And yes, yes, you. And the chapter came out, so I figured, you know what? Why not knock it out while I can? And that way, this weekend, I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, yeah. Hi. Do you want this? Oh, okay. Maybe not. Um, so I see Black Rider in here. I know how Shanks captured Loki. Oh well, hold on. If it's spoilers, don't spoil in the chat. I can tell you that much. Don't do that. But if you got an idea on how that could happen and it's not spoilers, I will definitely listen. So if you're new here, I please obviously subscribe, like, follow, do all that good stuff. The link tree is down below, and there's also the link for the TOPT Discord. I'm in there. I don't I don't debate much in there with people because people have some wild takes. But I am in there if you ever want to chat or anything. So also down. Hold on. Here is my logo, and it underneath it is where I will be reading the chapter. This is the fan translation. This is not official. So, no, it's my theory. Well, then hit me. Hit me with the theory. So, without further ado, while you're typing up this theory, I'm interested to hear. I am going to. I'm going to get into the chapter. So we got One Piece, chapter 1177, Fury. And then we have the cover request is Mrs. Fuji Fujin. It's by, the request was by. And it says Robin planting flowers in a mole-made flower bed. Shanks got Loki drunk. Yo. Tell me Shanks is rolling like fucking what is his name? Oh my god, I can't believe it's blanking on me. Oh my god. What is his name? Now I need to look it up. Hold on. Bill Cosby. Tell me Shanks is rolling like Bill Cosby. I'm gonna lose it. That's crazy. Shanks just like roofied Loki. That'd be crazy. Or imagine he is exactly like Kaido and went through like 7 different forms of drunk. Shanks knows how to make Binks brew. Ooh. And Binks brew put him under the table. That'd be tough. Okay. Not much to say here. The only thing that is actually interesting about this is the fact that Robin used to work with a mole person in Baroque works. So that's like the only thing I got here. So we got Oda's notes. Oh, they're pending, so nothing there. Okay. We have Elbaf West Village. Shanks is always giving people liquor. That's true. I think that's probably how he stopped Kaido from coming to Marineford. So it says Elbaf West Village, and they're like, not good. And then someone says, wah. So they're like pulling the kids back, and they're like, hurry. And so Colin's like, cool, the giant warrior pirates are fighting. I've got a bad feeling about this. Get inside. You mustn't look. Oh, so it's like the parents are trying to wrangle all the kids. And then we see all the devil versions of the pirates, all the Dami reversied. It says, you've gotta come back to us, chiefs. Unlimited strength and bodies that regenerate. Nothing beats this invincible feeling. It's so liberating. Dorian, bro, you're like, nah, no thanks, dog. And they're like, have a taste of our power, Captain Dory. Oh, wow. And then, like, they have, like, a trident type thing or pitchfork, and they like stab it through, and it breaks right through the shield right into his arm. And he goes, to think that the fiercely proud giant warrior pirates would succumb to this. And they're just like big smiles and going crazy, and they're all of the Hardin, Dory, Broggy, and Stanson are just like, shame on all you damn idiots. Yes, hello. It says when he met Ace, Mihawk, Whitebeard, and the bandit from the first chapter, he offered all of them liquor. That's true. Shanks loves a good drink. And then it says Sun Realm near the lift, Chopper's group. It says, stop this, we're comrades. We fought side by side. I can't bring myself to hurt you guys. And then someone says, DDT Roads. And it says, you don't want to cut us down. What an excuse. And then they said, join us, Kashi. Having an invincible body is the best. You can't bring yourself to hurt us, as if you could even if you wanted to. I dare you to try. And then Chopper's like, yeah, I thought they all went the other way. And then it's like, Kashi, if you get caught between them, you'll turn into a demon too. Oh, so Chopper is healing Gabon. He's just like sitting there. And then Chopper's like, Kashi, you've got to fight. And he goes, it's impossible. We've been friends forever. And he says, I can't hurt them. And then you hear Kashi. And someone says, hey, Gantonio, you've been buddies for a long time and you never change. Whenever you ask for just one bite, you always go and eat half of it. And he like just cuts him in half. And he's like, sorry, Chief. Okay. And then Hardin just punches one directly in half. And he's like, Gunneer. And then Dory uses Ikoku Sovereignty. Stanson uses Gigantic Drum. Oh, wow. Hold up. Zoro uses 3 sword style. Red Ogre, Mega Fury. And it says, that fatal strike was a real beauty. And it says, don't worry about a thing, guys. This won't kill you. And Your rule's like, is it me or do they seem giddy about this? Black Rider says he even told Whitebeard the drink was famous from his hometown. Now, what drink is that? And how does he know when God Valley got destroyed when he was a baby? That's true. That's actually a really good point. Unless it was Binks's brew, in which case, Binks's brew of Binks being a Davy Clan member is interesting. And then it says, Chopper's group, and all of a sudden you hear, and it says, run away, Kashi. And he says, forgive me, I can't. And then Gaban grabs his axe, and Chopper uses a rumble ball. And he gets off, he gets up, and Chopper just smacks the, one of the giants, and it says, Gaga, I don't feel a thing. But that's, okay, something's really weird about that. When Chopper smacks him, it looks like he's smacking the devil out the back of him. You see that? Like, am I crazy? And then he, like, hits the ground, and it's like thud, and then he flips over, and Chopper's like, huh? And the dude comes back and is like, ugh, and Chopper's like, what? He turned back to normal? How? Okay. So, this is going to be me speculating here. But, hi. You want to watch me speculate? I'm thinking that there's something there. I've always said this. There's something special about Chopper. There is. There has to be something special about him because he has the only devil fruit that we've ever seen that is just a pure human fruit and doesn't have a model, to our knowledge. But we know that, like, some people just don't know what their model is until they actually find out. And there's always been something special about Chopper. Blackbeard went to Drum Island, and he went there for a very specific reason, and we know that he was looking for powerful devil fruits, probably the best devil fruits that he possibly could to give his crew. And so that makes me believe that he went to Drum Kingdom thinking that he was going to find Chopper's devil fruit and give it to one of his crew or something like that, which makes me think that Chopper's devil fruit is way more important than we have been told in the story, or at least been led to believe. He wants to cure all diseases. He wants to do all of these things. He has more transformations than any other Zoan. He's done that through science, which we've seen, like, no one else can do. I mean, he even found a way to turn Minx Sulong without a full moon. There's something special about Chopper. There's got to be. He's got to have like a god fruit or some other mythical Zoan fruit outside of just the human fruit. And the fact that he smacks him, and he's smacking the devil out the back of his head and turning him back, is, to me, further proof that he is special. So Kashi says, how? And then it says, outside the Owl Library. And then we see Zeus getting big, and Znami's feeding him black balls, and he's like, yummy. And we see Killingham's head, and it says, you miserable dogs, do you know the hell that's in store for you plebes like you did that dare defy the gods? And Jinbei's like, holding his head, and it says, "Unhand me, fishman. You're filthy." Blah. And Jinbei's like, "You bark a lot for someone in your position." And he's like, "Blah." And then Frankie said, "If we box him up, he shouldn't be able to reattach everything, right?" And he's like tying up his body. And then we see Zeus, and he says, "Thanks for the help, everyone." And it says, "I guess that's the only way to deal with these guys, but..." And Sanji said, "It's hard to believe these are the kinds of knights they have protecting the Holy Land." And Frankie says, "We've just gotten too strong for them, Sanji. Luffy's an emperor now, you feel me?" And Sanji says, "That's great and all, but it pisses me off to think that such vermin were allowed to terrorize Elbaf." And Killingham says, "Underestimate us while you can, maggots." And then Jinbei says, "There's still one more who hasn't taken any damage yet. Don't let your guards down." And Nami says, "Zeus, fire keeps breaking out all over Elbaf." And he says, "Understood." Nami says, "Just for now, just keep the rain pouring." And Zeus says, "Got it. I'll give it my all." Okay. Damn, this chapter feels like it's going so fast. But, man, I love this. You okay? Okay. I'm just checking in on you. Making sure you're okay. I love this interaction. This is so cool. Also, the fact that they just, like, totally packed this guy up. It's great. I love this. The fact that they decapitated him, just to basically, like, they packed him up in such a crazy way. Like, I thought Killingham was actually going to be like more of a challenge. I guess I was thinking that the Sleep Tids were gonna pose more of a threat, but Loki's making like real swift work, and I kind of love it. Black Rider says Shanks is a bootlegger. Each Yonko had their own racketeering business. Big Mom's was extortion, Kaido's was weapon sales, Whitebeard's was protection, and Shanks is bootlegging. Very interesting. I like that thought that all of them had something. And like they're all like a form of like different crimes. Like, you know, like Big Mom's business extorting people for money and stuff like that. But also like her but like her, you know, and Whole Cake for their parts of their soul was that was, I mean, that was a big thing. Kaido, obviously he wanted to make a military state, you know, he did all that stuff to build weapons and had the weapons factories in Wano. And then Whitebeard protection, I mean, that yeah, it was like, you know, like kind of like a mafia boss, like, "Yo, pay me insurance money and I'll make sure this place never burns down," you heard? And then Shanks bootlegging. It's very interesting. Hey, if you have this in your hand, you're gonna pull it out of your mouth, and then you're not gonna have your pacifier. So maybe you just let it go, okay? Trying to reason with the baby. Trying to reason with the baby. But no, I like it. And I also just really like the fact that they're just really feeling like a Yonko crew, and they're like even saying it like Luffy's a Yonko, like he's on a different level. Okay. Then we see Loki is just, you know, has basically wiped out almost all the Sleep Tids at this point. And we hear "Dog, ha ha ha," and then you hear "ah yeah ha ha ha," and then you hear "squeak squeak," and Luffy says, Hey, Nami, Sanji, Frankie, Jinbei. And he's in his Gear 5 form. And Jinbei's like, it's huge, like a sea king. And Sanji's like, wait, if it's with you, don't tell me. That's Loki? And Frankie's like, that's a buddy of yours? No way, that's so cool. And Luffy's like, right? This guy's just too big. And it says, Nami's like, are you out of your minds? And like, even Loki's like, And Luffy's like, And Nami's like, you've gone and made friends with another freak. I'm glad you beat the monsters, but seriously, that thing's breath is only feeding the flames. Don't you see? If you have to burn Elbaf to the ground to stop the bad guys, it defeats the whole point. So knock it off. I mean, facts, dog, facts. Like, you're literally destroying the place that you're trying to protect, right? I mean, the fact that Nami is like making Loki sweat and stuff like that, like I love this interaction. Nami had no fear, not even a little, is just crashing out. Just crashing out on Luffy and Loki. Um, Very funny. And then Luffy's just like, he's just like, eh. And then Ragnar just like puts his like hand on Luffy, like, it's okay, bud. Pat pat. And then Luffy's like, you got me in trouble, Loki. That's funny. And then Loki's just like, I just want to crush all the threats to Elbaf. Why the hell should I give a crap about your crewmates bitching? And he just like lightning blasts him. And Luffy's like, ah. Black Raider says, even the new Yonkos got racketeering businesses. Blackbeard is kidnapping and robbing. Buggy is paid hits, and Luffy is terrorism. Yes, technically terrorism, but in the best way. What? What's the matter? Do you want to switch sides? Like, getting tired of sitting over here? How's this? Is this a better view? Here. Exactly. And Luffy's like, oh, it's just lightning. And then someone's like, why didn't that work? And he said, it should have sent you flying if it did. It's like, he's rubber. And then all of a sudden Luffy looks and he's like, And it says, center of branch 8 Brooks group. And Brooks like, Usopp. And we see Emu. And Brooks like, please flee. I came here for my own reasons. She's dangerous. And Usopp said, who would run and abandon a crewmate at a time like this? Brook, true warriors do not run. And Brooks like, Usopp. And then it says, I've always dreamed of visiting this place, to come to the land I've admired. I won't disgrace myself. Not here. Besides, I'm burning with fury right now. And it says, Brook, these guys, they're looking down on Elbaf. Their gutless plan was to sneak here and kidnap children. Yo, go off, son. Go off. Give me some. Listen, this is what I'm talking about. This is the type of shit that Usopp needs to be doing. This is the type of shit that makes me go, oh, okay, Usopp's arc. We got this. You know, like, I've obviously, like, gone away from that because I don't think this is Usopp's arc. I think this is the Straw Hats arc in general. But this is the type of shit I expect from Usopp. Come on. This is goated right here. I love this. Just the monologue here is beautiful. It's beautiful. Yes, it's beautiful. Just this whole thing, and the fact that he went and chased after Brooke, after all the other Straw Hats were doing their own thing. I was wondering where he went at. I'm pretty sure Robin is at the library. We obviously know where Chopper's at, all that other stuff. But then we see, this whole thing, just like, who would run and abandon a crewmate at a time like this? Brooke, true warriors do not run. I've always dreamed of visiting this place, to come to the land I've admired. I won't disgrace myself, not here. Besides, I'm burning with fury right now, Brooke. These guys, they're looking down on Elbaf. Their gutless plan was to sneak here and kidnap children. Like, Black Raider says, I bet Loki is lightweight when he drinks. That's why he called Shanks a coward, because he believes Shanks played dirty when they fought. That would be true. That could be true. And then Usopp said they didn't use their own strength at all in this invasion. They relied on those monsters, and hijacked the minds of all those proud warriors, trying to force them to slaughter each other. How dare you carry out such a cowardly and underhanded scheme, you shameless bast? And then just immediately kicked right in the face. And Brooke's like, Usopp. And then Brooke gets hit with something. I don't even know what he's getting hit by. And then Usopp gets up and says, the warriors of Elbaf fight with their own swords and shields. They put their own lives on the line. They're a nation of warriors. If you want to conquer them, do it fair and square. Fight them head on, you spineless coward. Damn, son. Tell it to him. Tell it to him. I love this. I love this for Usopp. This is beautiful. He's going against arguably the strongest creature in the verse. No fear going against Emu. I love it. I love it. Emu says, a dominant ruler never sullies their own hands. And Usopp says, skull, bomb, grass. And Usopp is looking Emu dead in the face, and Emu just says, fire. And it like exploded and hit Usopp too. And then you just see Emu like cracking and like basically reforming. And Usopp looks like he's toast. And then Luffy looks down and sees Emu, and he like jumps down from Loki and says, Usopp, Brooke. And then Loki says, it's her. She's the source of the hockey we felt down in the realm of the dead. And then... What? What? Are you also upset? Are you also upset at that? And Luffy looks down and sees uh, Brook and Usopp, and Luffy says, "Hey Loki, I'm really pissed now." And Loki says, "I wasn't planning on letting these guys off the hook anyway." And Emu says, "Nika, Needhog, submit or perish. This battle shall divide the world." Damn! Damn! Yo, this is so good. This is literally so good. The fact that he's like, "Nika, Needhog, submit or perish." And we get face to face at last. I want to see this. The fact that the fact that Emu attacked Usopp. Do you want this or not? What's the deal here? We got Shanks even poured Scopper a drink when they were in the pool during the flashback. And then it said, didn't Shanks pour Roger and Whitebeard a drink after they fought? I don't know. I thought that, Shanks, Roger, and Whitebeard all just kind of like poured their own drinks, or I thought maybe Roger maybe poured the drinks for all of them. And then Shanks is coming with the liquor. You think Shanks is gonna show up in Elbaf? I don't know. I don't know if I see that, but this is a fire chapter. This is a fire chapter. I really like this chapter. It was really good. Just so good. The fact that like one Usopp standing 10 toes against the strongest, the strongest motherfucker in the verse is dope. You stop trying to avoid it. You want it, but then you try and avoid it. That's dope. And then the plus Zoro always the one looking at Luffy strange when he talks about Shanks. But this chapter was good. Chapter was good. Here, let's start from the top, because let's just go through this real quick. Cover requests, not a lot to talk about here. The giant pirates just like, or the giant warriors of Elbaf just getting absolutely dog walked by these four, kind of crazy. It's actually kind of interesting because Dory gets this injury from this rando, and it kind of mirrors the fact that Bragi got his hand blown off by Emu, because they both are now injured in the same arm or same hand, and they still are just dog walking. This whole situation with Gaban getting healed by Chopper, and then Kashi fighting off two more of the Dami reverses, is very interesting. The fact that, again, they're just packing these dudes up, and then Zoro using 3 sword style red ogre, which the red ogre is Broggy. So plus Zoro always looking at Luffy strange when he talks about Shanks. Maybe. I mean, Zoro's thing is liquor. But yeah, they kind of pack those guys up, and the fact that like Gabon is ready to swing on these two Domi reversied giants, and then Chopper smacks him, and the just the fact that a no-named attack, my guy, fucking literally pushed the devil out the back of this man's head from just one hit from Chopper. No hockey. That to me says that Chopper is special. Special. Write it down in your notebooks. Chopper be special. Chopper be special. He's got something special. Even he's questioning it. Like, yo, they just turned back to fucking normal after I just bitch smacked him? That's kind of crazy. And like the fact that and this is something that I think that everyone needs to really pay attention to, is the fact that after getting smacked and he says, "Knock it off, you jerk," the dude literally goes, "Gah, I don't feel a thing," and then literally just dies, basically. Just remember that. The fact that they're doing this to Killingham, so funny. The fact they're making Jinbei hold him because he's a racist, double as funny. Double as funny. That's awesome. I love that. And then the way that Chopper Force God. Exactly. I'm glad someone else is on that. I've been on that. I've been on it. I got a TikTok from like 3 years ago or some shit, maybe 2 years ago, where I literally said Chopper is the Forest God, and I got proof, and I still do. All that proof still exists. It's just, I've only gotten more proof since then. And then the fact that Luffy and Loki have pretty much destroyed all the sleep tids now. They're all gone. At least that's what it looks like. I think they just killed the last ones. And they fly over, and just Nami's whole like, yo, I'm gonna bitch out Loki and Luffy. And then Luffy's just like, yo, you got me in trouble. And like the fact that Ragnar just like pats him on the back like, it's okay. It's okay, bud. I understand. You're getting yelled at. And Loki just like unleashing all the lightning, and it just not even hurting him because he's got the properties of rubber. And even Loki's like, why didn't that send you flying? And then like the fact that Luffy's like observation, I don't even know how far away they are, but I mean he peeped from a bit away. This whole situation of Brook getting his shit wrecked. This Usopp monologue, beautiful. Just chef's kiss. 10 out of 10. No notes here. This is what I wanted from Usopp. This is what I wanted to see from Usopp. This makes me go, all right, this is the Usopp that I expected in Elbaf. This is the type of shit that I'm like, hell yeah, dog. This is Usopp. This is like, and like that's even like just more renewed from me, like because like obviously I just watched the live action, it was so good. It was like fantastic. And then the moments where Usopp was talking about going to Elbaf and stuff like that. Um, like it's so good, and this just elevated that for me. Um, this whole monologue and him just being no fear against Emu and being like, "You're a fucking coward, dog. You couldn't even come here and conquer them like a real man, dog." Like, I love this. I love this. It's like, if you want to conquer them, then come do it fair and square. You like fight them head on, you spineless coward. Oh my god, bruh, just just so good. Just in his bag with this. I can't, like, I don't know what the official trans is going to look like. It might go even harder. This goes crazy. It might be the same, might be slightly different, but whatever this is, I'm here for it. And I know that this is going to go crazy once it's animated. Um and the fact that Emu just like pulls up on him, obviously Usopp wasn't gonna fucking catch a dub off this. But the fact that he was so willing to just like double, triple, quadruple down on this is what I want from Usopp. I don't need him to be, Luffy Gear 5 tier. I don't need him to be Sanji tier. I don't need him to be anywhere near that. I just want him to stop being a little bitch sometimes. And this is him doing that. This is him doing that. And like the fact that he pulled up, he was about to do his skull bomb grass attack, and Emu said, "Bet dog, fire." And the fact that he did, knowing it was probably gonna put him down, um, it just beautiful, just beautiful. Um, Lewis Rosales said, "Remember the Medaka mermaid quintuplets? That had to be foreshadowing, 100%, and that's part of it. And if you look, when they are in, they name their names, right? So it goes like Ichika, Nika, Sanka, Yonka, and Yonka 2. So that means that there's one of the other gods is Ichika. We have Nika. We don't know Sanka. And then we know Yonka and Yonka 2. So we at least know 3 other names that it could be, right? The one that is above Luffy in the, I forget what volume cover it is Nika. He's directly above Luffy. Luffy's looking up, and directly above him is Nika. Directly above Nika is the sun, or at least the light coming down from like the Eve tree in Fishman Island that is basically supposed to be their sun. So that was that. But right next to him is Chopper. And the one that should be right next to him that would be coming down in that same order, it went like Ichika, and then it went, hold on, it was Ichika, then I believe it was Sanka, yes, and then Nika, then Yonka 1 and 2. Next to Luffy, in the order, it was Sanka. And I think Sanka would be the forest god. So I'm thinking, because they're the only 2 on the cover, besides for the quintuplets and like a few things up in the background, that it leads me to believe that Chopper is also a god fruit user. Again, I always go back to, there's a reason Blackbeard went to Drum Island. It wasn't just to fuck around. It wasn't to buy time so that Ace could come there. It was because he wanted to find that fruit for himself. But he realized that he was too late because Chopper ate it, or he just couldn't find it and gave up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, and this last panel is just 10 out of 10. You know, this whole thing where Luffy comes down and sees that Brook and Usopp are beat up, and Luffy just like Loki's just like, it's her, she's the source of the hockey down in the realm of the dead that we felt. And Luffy's just like, hey Loki, I'm really pissed now. And then Loki's just like, I wasn't planning on letting these guys off the hook anyway. And the fact that Emu's like, Nika, Needhog, submit or perish. This battle shall divide the world. And there's no break week. Let's fucking go. Like, I'm so excited for it. So, I love this. I love these developments. Keep them coming. Oda is just cooking out of his mind. This chapter to me is an easy peasy 9 to 9.5. Like, this had really great developments, had funny moments, especially with Killingham's head. You know, it had the and this is one of the first times that we've ever seen Luffy get this serious in his Gear 5th form. And the fact that he even verbally expressed, I'm really pissed now, made me go, oh, he's about to fucking put belt to ass to Emu, and I'm here for it. So and the fact that Loki's here too, if it's a 2v1, which I thought it was gonna be, against Emu. I originally thought that this was how it was going to be. I thought it was going to eventually come down to Loki and Luffy versus Emu. Yo, this seems like it should be a walk in the park. But the fact that Emu is who they are, I feel like this is going to be a really good fight. You know, this is going to show us, too, what level Emu is really at. Or Oda's trying to try and save it for us, and Loki's gonna get like Dami reversied or some shit. I don't know exactly how this is gonna take place, but man, this is gonna be a good one. Oh, you all right? Oh, okay. But yeah, no, that was so good. 9.5. This was a great chapter. My lordy. But yeah, as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear them. If you weren't part of the live chat and didn't let your voice be heard through that, please leave a comment after the fact. Let me know what you thought this chapter. Let me know if I'm tripping with anything, because, like, you know, obviously this is just. Yes, are you telling me that you're tripping? Okay, here, I'll get you out of the pouch. Okay, let me know if I was tripping with anything or any of my thoughts. Let me know if there was anything you spotted that I didn't. You know, I always love when, because I like seeing other people's reactions to these chapters too, because then I get to see what other people think and if I missed anything. And also, you know, if you could, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't. It really helps out when getting to those milestones. I'd really love to hit, 500 subscribers and then get to like 1,000 so I can, start building. So I really appreciate it if you could. And it really helps with the YouTube algorithm if you like the video. It pushes it to other people. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for Black Rider. I like the idea about Shanks. And also Luis. Thank you. Or Lewis, however it's pronounced. Thank you guys for showing up. I say this every time I do one of these live reactions. One Piece is better as a conversation, and I love having that conversation with other One Piece fans, because I feel like one thing that we got going for us is our community. Even if we're divided on power scaling and all sorts of other things, we all just love this show and love to talk about it. So, thank you guys so much, and I will be back here next week when 1178 comes out, and I am super excited for it. So, especially with the ending of this one, I know it's going to be a good one. So, as always, thank you guys so much. I am Nerdtaku. This is my daughter Noelle, and I will see you guys next time. Jana?